So let's try to understand our next question. So our next question is, a patient presented with a severe abdominal pain for last 2 hours and the BP is 90 by 60 millimeter Hg and the pulse is 112 per minute. There is a history of multiple episodes of vomiting, there is a irregular pulse, and there is a soft abdomen with an absent bowel sound. Okay, what is the most likely diagnosis in this case? So here what we have found, there is a acute severe abdominal pain, right? So it's for 2 hours, so that's why the acute. So there is a acute severe abdominal pain. The BP is basically low, that is there is a hypotension and there is a tachycardia, right? So there is a hypotension and there is a tachycardia and there is a vomiting, irregular pulse and the soft abdomen. Okay, the soft abdomen with the absence of bowel sound. So these are the key features that has been shared with us. Now the options are A for peptic perforation, B for ruptured aortic aneurysm, C for acute mesenteric ischemia, and the D for severe acute pancreatitis. Now here, let's try to rule out again. Okay, so this is basically a scenario with a acute abdomen. Now in case of acute abdomen, obviously first of all what we used to think is that peptic perforation. So in case of peptic perforation, obviously there is a severe acute abdominal pain that would be there, but apart from that the patient would gives us the evidence of the peritonitis. That means there is a cardboard rigidity, there would be a tenderness, rebound tenderness, and the guarding as well. Okay, and obviously there would be some preceding symptoms of the abdominal pain or the epigastric pain that has been there, which is somewhere related with the food habit as well. Okay, so this is your peptic perforation. So that means your peptic perforation, in that case there is a rigidity and guarding would be there, as well as there is a tenderness and rebound tenderness. That is also present. So that's how we are able to rule out this option here, because in this case there is a soft abdomen they have mentioned. Okay, then comes your ruptured aortic aneurysm. So number one is that this ruptured aortic aneurysm eventually gives some classical clinical signs, that is your pulsatile abdominal mass. Okay, pulsatile abdominal mass. So this pulsatile abdominal mass is basically a classical features for the ruptured aortic aneurysm, which is not given in this scenario. Okay, this is how we can also exclude this option as well. Then comes our option D, which is your severe acute pancreatitis. So the severe acute pancreatitis, the pain typically suggesting towards like the epigastric and the central or the periumbilical region, but eventually the pain basically radiates towards the back, right? So this is the one of the important clinical features. Apart from that, the patient will maybe show some signs of the peritonitis or there is a tenderness in that case. Apart from that, there is a history of either there is a gallstone or regular alcohol intake. Okay, so these are the classical symptoms or the classical history and the signs that is supposed to be shared with by the patient, but none of this are mentioned in this question. So obviously we can rule out severe acute pancreatitis as well. Apart from that, your severe acute pancreatitis, in that case your serum amylase and the serum lipase is supposed to be raised. Okay, so the only option that has been left, that is the acute mesenteric ischemia. Look, the thing is that when the patient with acute mesenteric ischemia eventually comes to us, they will eventually complain of severe abdominal pain. Now this complaint of this severe abdominal pain is not very much consistent what we find in the abdomen of the patient on the clinical examination. Okay, so this is basically the key thing regarding acute mesenteric ischemia. So let's try to understand the disease. So as the name suggests, there is a acute ischemia at the level of the mesentery, right? So that means the blood vessels that supplying the mesentery and the large intestine and the small intestine, so that vessels are being affected in that case. So as a result of that, there is a ischemia. Okay. So this episode may be due to embolic or maybe due to uh, thrombosis in some cases. Okay. So there is a two main common reason that has been seen. Okay. So as a result of this, there is a sudden decrease in the blood flow to the intestine. And as a result of that, there is acidosis and there is a necrosis of the part of the bowel wall. And there is eventual perforation as well, which is the late clinical findings in that case. Okay. So the thing is that the etiology, which is very much important. So most of the patient who came to us, typically there is a history of preceding atrial fibrillation. So this atrial fibrillation eventually the source of the embolus, and this embolus eventually get lodged in the superior mesenteric artery or the inferior mesenteric artery. One thing that I would like to highlight is that the superior mesenteric artery is the most common affected vessels in that case. Okay, superior mesenteric artery. Now, obviously, your actual embolization being one of the most common cause, as I have already mentioned, most of the time patient comes to us with atrial fibrillation. So, if you can remember the question, in the question they have already mentioned that there is a irregular pulse. So, that is pretty much consistent with this scenario. Okay. Now, the next option is, the next etiology is the thrombosis. There is a atrial thrombosis that could also being one of the important etiology behind the acute mesenteric ischemia. Here as well, the vessels that is being involved is the superior mesenteric artery most commonly. So in the both of these cases, like the atrial embolism and the thrombosis, the superior mesenteric artery is the one that most commonly involved. Apart from that, there is a non-occlusive mesenteric ischemia also has been seen, typically in a case of shock. Okay, when the patient goes into the hypovolemic shock, so most of the time this kind of features would be seen. Also, your mesenteric venous thrombosis. So this mesenteric disorder of the venous origin also may leads to decrease blood flow to the intestine as well. Now the clinical features. So in the clinical features, as I have already mentioned, the patient will eventually comes to you with a severe abdominal pain, and when you go for the clinical examination, you are eventually not able to found any concrete clinical signs. So there is a soft abdomen, there is a no tenderness that has been there. So which is pretty much disproportionate to physical findings. Then obviously the absent bowel sounds. So this absent bowel sounds are eventually seen due to paralytic ileus. As a result of this acute decrease in the blood flow to the intestine, so the intestine basically goes into the paralytic ileus. Okay, and the shock or the hypotension and the tachycardia, which is pretty much evident with this clinical scenario. Apart from that, as a result, there is a irregular pulse that implies the atrial fibrillation in that case. Now, your vomiting or there is a diarrhea or this kind of features basically signifies that there is an underlying infection has been already settled in, right? So, it basically signified the infection. Okay. Now, this kind of scenario, as I have already mentioned, has been seen with the elderly patient, and these are strongly suggestive of this. Now, apart from that, now you do need to understand how to diagnose such a patient, right? So, to diagnose such a patient, obviously, your biochemical, apart from the all biochemical tests, we have the serum lactate is one of the strongest predictor, which is eventually elevated in the later stage of the disease, which is not of any clinical use. But your CT angiography is basically your investigation of choice. So your CT angiography is the investigation of choice in this scenario. So you can see, hopefully you guys are able to see in this image, right? So there is a sudden cutoff, right? So this is the area when there is a sudden cutoff in the blood supply. So you can also able to appreciate that in this area there is a sudden cutoff of the blood supply. Okay, that has been seen typically with this acute mesenteric ischemia. Now your CTs, also your X-ray and CT scan will help you. So the classical findings, that is your pneumatosis intestinalis. So this pneumatosis intestinalis means there is a air or there is a gas that has been found in the intestinal wall. Okay, so the air or gas in the intestinal wall. Also, as a result of paralytic ileus, you can able to see gasless abdomen. Gasless abdomen as well. One thing regarding the CT angio finding is that there is another significant findings which is pretty much consistent with the embolus, is that meniscus sign. So this meniscus sign, this is basically consistent with embolic episodes. Embolic episodes of acute mesenteric ischemia, where the typical cutoff of the blood supply, which is basically shown in these two images, this is pretty much consistent with the thrombotic episodes. Now regarding the treatment, obviously you want to save this patient. So obviously you do need to resuscitate the patient fast. You can start the patient on the broad spectrum antibiotics. You can obviously, you do need to go for the laparotomy or the open laparotomy in that case. As a result of laparotomy, you can either go with a stenting or the revascularization procedure to revive the affected vessels, and later on to check the viability of the bowel, which is very much necessary. So if the a bowel basically remains viable, obviously it's a good for us as well as for the patient. Obviously there is a scope for second recheck surgery as well. Please do keep that in mind in that case. But apart from that, if the bowel is basically remain not viable, we can go with a resection and anastomosis in that case. Okay, so this is your AMI, or the acute mesenteric ischemia in a nutshell. So this is your answer in this question. So this was regarding the discussion of the acute mesenteric ischemia. Thank you. If there is any question, please do let me know. I'm happy to answer.